Alright, so we continue looking at the SQL series, and in this episode we are going to be looking at how we can insert data into our tables. So earlier on you remember that we did create three tables, and the way you can go about it, rather to see which tables you have in your database in MySQL Workbench, is you can either come right here on this Max schema and click on this, double click on this information icon right there, and it will open this tab right here. Let me just close out of other instances there. Just have one going on. So it will open this Max tab right here in the main editor, and you can then toggle between the different tabs. So if you wanted to see the columns, the indices, and so forth and so on, these are a bit advanced for this particular course. We're only concerned with the tables, is it? So you can actually see that we have three tables going on. And yeah, so this is the tables that we're going on: the student table, the student test, and the test table, as it were. And now we want to go ahead and insert data into our tables. So the way we can go about it is to make use of the insert in and into keywords. And since we have three tables going on, and to keep the video short, I did write the inserts that we want to perform for this particular instance. So maybe we'll start with the insert for the student table, so that you can see what we are trying to accomplish here. So I'm just going to paste this. So one thing that I need to fix is to fix the table names, as it were. The table name as well as the columns. So you remember that our column is actually student underscore ID, and here it's not first name like this, it's actually first underscore name, and it's all small letters. Basically we're using snake case, as it were. So here we have student ID, first name, last name, then the values that we want to insert. So since we have multiple values, we just have a comma separated list of the values that we want to insert. So this is going to be treated as an object, right? You see that there's curly braces around that particular tuple, or that particular row that we want to have in our database. So the SQL engine is smart enough to know that if you surround it in parentheses like that, it's going to take this one as the student ID, and this is going to be the student's first name, and this is going to be the student's last name. So this is actually going to be taken as an independent tuple, as it were. So it's going to do the rest for Alice Smith, for Brian Moyo, Chibo Dube, and Tarunur, right? So let's actually go ahead and run the script, and you see that we get a green check mark, meaning to say that our script ran without any issues. And if we come back to the tables right here in the navigator, you see that in the columns we now have that information going on, is it? So we can actually just double click the student table there, and it will open. So of course you can't really see anything if we do this. So maybe what I can do is I can come back to the editor right here. Maybe just save my script. I finally just decided to save the script so that we won't have any issues of the save dialog popping up. So maybe I can just comment out of this insert statement, because we've already inserted data into our particular table. So to show that we actually now have data, I can select everything from the student table, right? And we just want to return everything from the student table. So we can run that script, and you can actually see that we have our data going on in the table there. So you know that our insert did work, and we now have 5 entries inside of the student table, as it were. So coming back to the editor, we can then insert the remaining data for the other 2 tables. So remember, I did prepare the information right here before the tutorial. So let me just copy this, and I can just comment out of this select statement, because it was just for demonstration purposes. It enter a couple of times so that we give ourselves space to work with. So we want to insert this about there. So maybe just fix the test name. It's actually test ID, test underscore ID. That's the table name. Make sure it's an underscore. And this one, you remember we said it's descript, because SQL actually is a description keyword, as it were. So we don't want it to conflict with our field name there. So it's actually total mark. Is it total marks? Let me see here. Where is the table for total mark? It's actually total marks. So yeah, that's just about right there. Then test ID, we can copy this, paste it here. Then mark, it's actually small letter m. Wait, was it marks? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Yeah, it's actually mark there, so it's mark, not marks. Then this is actually student underscore test, and this is actually student underscore ID. Right, so that's our information, or rather that's our column information for these particular two tables. So let's go ahead and insert this data, and you see that we don't get any issues, is it? So we actually now have inserted 5 records for each table. So now we can proceed in the next in the upcoming episodes. We can then now proceed to writing some complex queries, as it were, like averaging, finding, making joins, and so forth and so on, is it? So yeah, that's how you can insert data into a table, by making use of the insert into then values keywords, as it were. So that's just about it for this episode. I'll see you in the next one.